There is one psychological mistake that makes women lose respect faster than almost anything else a man can do. And the reason it's so dangerous is because most men make this mistake while genuinely believing they are doing the right thing. They think they're being kind. They think they're being understanding. They think they're being emotionally mature. But psychologically, what they're actually communicating is something very different. They are communicating that they don't fully respect themselves. And once that signal is sent, respect from others begins to fade. Not instantly, not dramatically, quietly. The tone changes, the dynamic shifts. Something feels off, even if no one can explain why. This is why respect is more important than attraction. You can have attraction without respect for a while, but it never lasts. Respect is what stabilizes attraction over time. Now, here is the mistake. Most men believe respect is earned by being agreeable, by avoiding conflict, by prioritizing her comfort over their own, by showing how flexible and accommodating they are. But psychological respect does not work that way. Respect is not built by accommodation. It is built by self-alignment. The moment you start filtering yourself to avoid disapproval, respect begins to erode. Women sense this instinctively, not because they are judging you consciously, but because the subconscious mind is always reading emotional positioning. Who is centered? Who is adjusting? Who is afraid to lose approval? When a man consistently adjusts himself emotionally to keep the peace, he places himself beneath the interaction. And that positioning is what causes respect to disappear. Most men don't notice it because it feels subtle. They don't denounce it, they don't say it out loud, but it shows in behavior. Explaining yourself when no explanation is needed, apologizing when you haven't done anything wrong, agreeing when you actually disagree. Each of these behaviors sends the same underlying message. I don't fully trust my own position. And if you don't trust your own position, respect cannot form. This is where many men misunderstand attraction and respect. They believe women lose respect when men are assertive, but the opposite is true. Women lose respect when men suppress themselves. Disagreement does not destroy respect. Suppression does. Boundaries do not destroy respect. Fear of boundaries does. Confidence is not dominance. Confidence is emotional certainty. A man who is comfortable being misunderstood is respected. A man who constantly tries to manage how he is perceived is not. This is why men who over-explain lose respect. They are trying to control interpretation. But respect cannot be negotiated. It is felt. Another major way this mistake appears is emotional over-availability. Being emotionally present is healthy. Being emotionally dependent is not. Many men confuse the two. They respond instantly to everything. They drop their priorities without hesitation. They make themselves endlessly accessible. They believe this shows care. Psychologically, it shows lack of center. A man without a center has no gravity, and without gravity, respect fades. Respect grows when your time feels intentional, when your attention feels chosen, not automatic. Another subtle respect killer is emotional mirroring. If she's uncertain, he becomes uncertain. If she pulls back, he panics. If she's emotional, he loses stability. Instead of containing emotion, he absorbs it. A grounded man does not mirror emotional chaos. He remains steady. And that steadiness is interpreted as strength. Strength does not need to announce itself. It is felt. There is also the issue of suppressed disagreement. Many men avoid expressing real opinions because they fear conflict, so they stay neutral. They nod along, they silence themselves. But authenticity is essential for respect. A man who is not fully expressed cannot be fully respected. Disagreement, when expressed calmly, signals confidence. Suppression signals fear. And fear erodes respect faster than honesty ever could. The most dangerous part of this mistake is that it compounds. Each small self-betrayal builds on the last. Until one day, the dynamic feels permanently shifted. And when men sense that shift, they often make it worse. They try harder, they become nicer, they accommodate even more. And respect collapses completely, because effort does not restore respect. Alignment does. Self-respect is not loud, it is not aggressive, it is not controlling. It is quiet, grounded, and consistent. And when a man stops stepping away from himself, respect has space to return. When a man stops making this mistake, something very specific begins to change. Not outwardly at first, but internally. His posture settles, his tone slows down, his reactions become measured instead of automatic. And women feel the shift immediately. They may not comment on it, they may not even consciously register it, but the way they interact with him changes. They listen more carefully, they choose their words more thoughtfully, they hesitate before crossing lines they once crossed freely. That is what respect actually looks like. Respect is not loud approval, it is consideration. And consideration only appears when a man is clearly grounded in himself. This is why the solution to losing respect is never about becoming colder or less caring. That is an overcorrection driven by fear. Real self-respect is warm but firm, open but contained, present but not dependent. A man who respects himself does not withdraw emotionally. He simply stops abandoning his center. He speaks honestly without over-explaining. He disagrees calmly without needing to win. He sets boundaries without anger or apology. And most importantly, he remains emotionally stable regardless of the response he receives. That stability is the foundation of respect. Another critical change happens in how conflict is handled. Most men believe conflict is dangerous, so they smooth things over. They apologize prematurely. They try to restore harmony at any cost. But harmony built on self-betrayal never lasts. A man who respects himself does not fear tension. He understands that short-term discomfort is healthier than long-term resentment. So when something feels off, he addresses it directly, calmly, and briefly. No lectures, no emotional outbursts, no justification, just clarity. That clarity communicates internal authority, and internal authority is deeply respected. This also changes how emotional conversations unfold. When a woman expresses frustration or emotion, many men rush to fix it. They take responsibility for feelings that are not theirs. They try to calm things down immediately. They absorb emotional weight they don't need to carry. But a grounded man does not collapse into emotional responsibility. He listens, he acknowledges, he stays present. But he does not lose himself. This emotional containment signals maturity. It says, I can be here without needing to control or be controlled, and that creates respect. Another area where respect is either lost or strengthened is criticism. When a man is criticized, many reacted defensively or apologetically. Both reactions communicate insecurity. A self-respecting man listens without immediately accepting blame or pushing back. He considers what is said. If it's valid, he adjusts without drama. If it's not, he lets it pass without internalizing it. He does not argue for his worth, he assumes it. That assumption is powerful because respect does not respond to arguments, it responds to certainty. Over time, this changes the entire dynamic. The relationship becomes more balanced, less emotionally chaotic, more grounded. And something interesting happens. Attraction stabilizes. Because attraction without respect is fragile, but attraction built on respect feels safe, steady, and enduring. This is why men who finally stop making this psychological mistake often notice that women begin treating them differently without being asked, not because they demanded respect, but because they stopped undermining it. And this leads to a deeper understanding that most men never reach. Respect is tied to internal status, not money, not titles, not social approval. Internal status. The way a man holds himself emotionally, the way he relates to his own needs, boundaries, and self-worth, When a man's internal status is high, it radiates outward. People respond to it instinctively. This is exactly why understanding status at the psychological level is so important, and it's something I break down in depth in my video called "The Dark Secret Behind Female Attraction to Status." That video explains why some men command respect and attraction the moment they enter a room, even without saying much, and how internal status shapes romantic dynamics long before words ever matter. Watch that video next, because when you understand how status actually works beneath the surface, everything you learned here becomes natural instead of forced. You stop trying to earn respect, and instead, you become the kind of man respect naturally follows.